All right, I thought I would do something a little different for my videos. As I was moving into this new Airbnb that I'm at and just loving it, and it's so beautiful, it made me think about when I first started doing my travel life in 2020. I did a bunch of research on what to pack. Well, I got great advice. It was very effective. I actually have some of those items that I was told to buy back then for Mexico. But since I started my travels to Mexico, I've actually been doing a lot different travel, and I've been changing climates, and it's all from a suitcase. Got the big one that I track and the one carry-on bag and then my backpack. Now that I'm producing a lot more content for my social media and for my training courses for the people that I have in my different programs, it's taking a lot more space and a little bit more planning, but it's also reminding me of how come I love this lifestyle so much. I thought it would be fun to share what I have learned in really the last 6 months that have been more of the suitcase lifestyle. I wanted to share it with you and give you some excitement of inspiration. If you were thinking of traveling, changing climates, being able to bounce around a little bit more actively while also creating content and having more tools for your success. There are things that I have accumulated, and it's interesting because my family and friends are always like, can't you get a smaller case of what you're bringing around with you? Don't you want to just have less? And I'm like, I want to be prepared to have what I need. And sometimes I'll make a pit stop back in the Northwest and drop some things in storage. And this time I actually did. I had actually been traveling with two sequin dresses and realized I probably didn't need any sequin dresses for this adventure I'm going on before I go back to Portland again. So you won't be seeing my sequin dresses, but I can tell you those sequin dresses, especially one of them, traveled all the way to Auckland, New Zealand with me just in case. And it continued through many of my trips to Oregon and Washington and California and back and forth. That little dress did get nice and small. So that's a big part of what I want to talk to you about is to prioritize what you have, but there's certain steps to it. Like I keep within a similar color family with an occasional pop of color here and there. When I sold my matchmaking agency, I stopped buying as much of the red, the blacks, and the whites. But as you can see, I still have some. And my focus has been more about the golds and the browns and the greens and the softness of colors. But the point of this is to say that you kind of create a color palette. It allows you to shop a little bit easier, more intermixing and creativity with the items that you do have. The other thing is that I want you to think about clothing as items that you might not see again after these travels. When I'm traveling, I've been fortunate. I have gotten to be able to use a lot of private washer and dryer machines, but that's not always the case. So I made sure that everything I take with me is easily washed. I can throw everything, the whites, the darks, the delicates, everything. It just all goes in one load because sometimes I only have time to do one load. Keep that in mind when you are doing your packing. No specialty items and nothing sentimental. If you are able to bring it knowing you might need to throw it away because you had to use a public laundromat and somebody left extra bleach in there and now it's ruined. Or in Mexico, you can actually have a spot to drop off your clothing and bring it back. Those detergents they use are harsh and they are very strong on the clothing. I wanted to create a little something for you to be aware of and give you some perspective on it. I personally really like to have my own laundry machine if possible. So I have paid a little extra for that service or having that feature in a rental, but not every place has that option. Keep in mind when you are packing, keep it simple and easy, items that you can intermix with a lot of different choices that you have. I was saying the other day to somebody, I go, I feel like my suitcase is like this magic bag that no matter what I go to, I have something. Recently, it was New Year's Eve, and I had a friend meet me at a hotel in town, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have us get dressed for New Year's. This is what I've got. And she pulls out what she has, and it turns out we both had tutu skirts that we had brought along. And I'm the one packing big time. She just brought hers from an apartment. And so it turned into a great success. I had not asked her. I had packed this very fluffy tutu dress that I did just depart with because I knew that after New Year's, I was not going to need to be wearing it for anything too soon. But I had packed it for all of my travels, along with the sparkle dresses. I had those even on my trips to Auckland, New Zealand. I want you to know that sometimes you need to pack a tutu tutu skirt because you never know when your friend is going to show up and want to be twinsy with you. It was fun. When we went to New Year's celebration, we had so many people stopping us and commenting on our skirts. So keep those little extra creative items in your suitcase because you never know when you just might want to pull it out if you can figure out the room. This has become my gift and my talent to know how much things weigh whenever I need to replace. Maybe a few new items have come into my selection. I've had people give me a sweatshirt, sweatpants, or I'm going to a colder climate and end up grabbing some sweaters or a bigger jacket. Well, now it's stuck with me when I'm going down to my warmer California or Mexico. And so that means it's extra weight and now I have to let it go. So now when I get things, I think, is the weight worth it? It's not about the size because I can cram that sucker in, but the difference is I have to decide, is it worth getting it to where I will be taking up precious weight in my travels? Now, mind you, when I left Mexico after being there for about a year and a half, I packed up everything. I thought I hadn't bought much, and I got to the airport and I had to pay an extra $100 because I had 10 extra pounds. And I am still traumatized by that and realized that extra $100 was not worth it for the items that I had brought with me. Now I've become hyper focused on making sure that never ever happens again, and it doesn't and it won't. And nothing material is ever worth wasting money just for the extra weight. I should have just upgraded my ticket and got an extra luggage allowance or paid for an extra suitcase, but lesson learned. Now I can pass it on to you. All right, let's talk about a few other things. This is my roll-up bag that I highly recommend. My last place, I had the shortest counter space to put makeup on. So this is great. It has a great hook on it, and then it has all of my products that are especially the loose and small ones. So it fits nicely into a suitcase. It is great on the back of your door. It's wonderful to set on a little counter space where you would just have a hard time juggling all of those individual products. So I highly recommend finding something to that effect. I'm not being sponsored for anything. I'm just letting you know what I use, just like these other people did for me when I went to Mexico for my first time on a big long trip. I wanted to know what to bring. And I thought, you know what? It's time to share with you what it is that I bring. Of course, we cannot skimp on our skincare, but as we age and get older, we have to also take really good care of our skin. We have to have really good sleep abilities. I still travel with the expensive high-end skincare because your skin is being affected by so many climate changes, from the dryness of the airplane, the different places that you're traveling. You have to realize it is affecting the elasticity. I've noticed my skin has changed a lot. So I highly recommend you make sure you have it. You also make sure that you have backup stuff. I have extra products, extra boxes, extra items. And you also want to make sure you have things in like little travel zip pouches, things that are easy and ready to go. It's just so important. All right. So I have one big thing. I definitely did a little differently this time. I used to pack all these little travel Q-tip containers. Well, you go through those so fast. So I finally just started packing the whole darn sucker. And I love it because I never have to wonder if I have a Q-tip. One of those things, I like to have my Q-tips. And this has been much better. I didn't do this in the beginning, and I will always make sure I just have a full-on box because your suitcase will get full enough. It'll help kind of balance out some of that weight. All right, so I believe in a cottony pop of color type of a dress, and I have a little something. You never know when you want to go out dancing and have a little bit of fun. You also want to make sure that you have a long, lightweight cotton dress that can be all crunched up. I guess this is for the ladies mostly, but you know, guys, you have your cottony items that you can crunch up that are just easy to go and easy that you don't have to wear panties with. You want things that don't have the extra layers underneath. You also want to make sure you have a nice, classy top that is a sweater for layers. I wear this quite a bit. You've seen it in my different videos. It's comfy, it's thick, it's warm. It is a heavier weight, but I go to different climates. There are night times it gets cold. I want to still look nice, but I only have one of these. You only get one wrap top that you can have of that. It's important to not fill your suitcase with too much of what you don't need. When it comes to shoes, I have to say my favorite product is Reef. I have multiple Reef shoes, and these have been my favorites. You can tell they're getting kind of tired and worn already, but they are wonderful to have. They look good. They go with everything. And I wore them on New Year's Eve with my tutu dress. So I'm not wearing dress shoes. I did not pack any fancy shoes at all for all of this. I can dress these up just fine. These reef are especially getting tired. I wanted to show them in the real light of what they are instead of just showing you the fancy ones when they're all brand new, because I love these. They've been great. I have arch issues. I have very high arches, and these have saved me because I walk so much on my travels. Oh my gosh, walking is my thing. The reef sandals have been phenomenal. And then I always make sure I have some good solid walking tennis shoes, because it's so important that we still wear proper shoes, especially when we're doing the longer walking. And when I say it's important, is that you need to take out time just for your exercising, not looking cute, not looking festive, not doing the extra. You just need really good, stable shoes so that you can truly walk a lot. I've got my other shoes. These are my other favorite slip-ons. These are Reef also. I almost didn't buy them, and I'm so thankful I did. Sometimes you just need slip-on shoes and then some good old flip-flops. These are the 5 pairs of shoes that I travel with, and definitely by the time I'm done with all of this, they will be completely worn out. I absolutely love that I can walk right in the water with one pair. I can go for a long hike in another pair. I can dress up a cute outfit in another pair. I can slip on a pair just to head on out. But my favorite one are my sparkles. If you're ever around me, you will see I'm always wearing these. And oh, they're so cute. They have the cute little bow on them, and they always shimmer in the light. I'm always wearing my red sparkle slippers. They're so comfy, and I absolutely love to have the extra little bit of sparkle and energy around, and they keep my feet so nice and toasty warm, but not too much. Okay, now a couple other things. I always travel, of course. You never know when the opportunity is going to come, and you're going to want to go swimming, and a bikini top is great. Front entry is even better. And you want to make sure you have a good bikini bottoms that you feel comfortable in, or one piece, of course, but you really only need one swimsuit. If you want to, and you know you're going to be in the out playing a lot with water, you sure can get two, because there's room for that. Now, this was something that I was recommended to get early on in my travels to Mexico. And this is wonderful. It's one of those jackets that you can cover just to protect your skin. Swim top, zips up and everything. I don't use it very often, but I always like to have it with me just in case. And it's a good kind of lightweight cover up. Oh, and of course, I've got to tell you about my fabulous red dress. I was celebrating the selling of my business, and I wanted something beautiful, sexy, and powerful. And so I got this dress, and it is amazing. It has leather straps. Of course, who can say no to leather straps? Huge back, so it goes all the way to the back side. And then it's super, super long. The greatest thing is it can be all crunched up, and it's just fine. Now, this cannot wash in a load of clothes. You had to wash this one. But this is part of my travels that I enjoy and I treasure. I am always ready to go out dancing. It takes up not too much room because I can make it nice and small, but it can also dress up for a nice little getting out and having some fun. Something new that I started doing with the last 4 or 5 months of travels is I got a bathrobe that is really comfy and cozy. It's soft. I found that I needed that comfort. I just needed a little like wrap me up sometimes. And I had not been using a bathrobe with travels. I had a lightweight one, but I would only use it more for special occasions kind of bathrobe. And this one is not that long. It's not full length or anything, but I find it very comforting, and it's super soft, and it's just really nice to have. I think that was a little bonus change that I've done with the Suitcase Life of traveling. Okay, so one of the extra things I think are really important to do is just bring one of these little zip pouches, so that when you do have the more delicate items when traveling, just it's kind of one of those things that I grabbed at the last minute right before I was packing everything into storage, and I have used it so many times. Obviously, when you buy these, they come in packs of different sizes, but I am so grateful to have this for when I am needing a little TLC for my items, just a little FYI. And then, of course, having a raincoat that you can just put into a little pouch. My daughter got this for me, and it was so helpful when I was in Auckland. I loved it. So it's a raincoat ready to go. I don't think you need the visual of that. Sometimes you need a little loofah. I got this guy in Playa del Carmen. He just makes me smile. So I like to have my own little travel loofah for it. And a couple other fun things. I have this fun little fanny pack, which I wore at New Year's. And it's just a random item that I squeezed into my suitcase, and I smile every time I see it. So you never know when you're going to need just a little extra accessory, let's just say. And then if you're really feeling a little bit more fun and lively, I have this fun little mermaid skirt and super fun top. Now, you never know when you're going to want to go and dress up for a little party. You might be going, whoops. You might be going to something a little bit fun and exciting. And I like to know I have that. Again, it can wrap itself up all nice and tight, but it has a little bit of fun shimmer. So I am ready. There are moments when those invitations come in. So that is what makes it really, really fun. Now, here's a couple other little items. My daughter surprised me with something of oh so value. When I was going to Auckland, New Zealand, I had to buy an adapter so I could plug things in Auckland. I hadn't even thought about it before I left. And so I have this great box full of all of these plugs. It takes up a good chunk of space in my suitcase. And I love it because who knows, I might just all of a sudden go somewhere that I need a special adapter plug. I'm just going to say it is so important and so incredibly worth it. And it's so easy to forget how important these little things are. I didn't need it in Mexico, but I did need it in New Zealand. These are things that I want you to think about when you're packing and being open to wherever the wind should blow you next. I am somebody who is having a wonderful time with my travels and exploration, and I have the items ready to go. A previous video, I talked about sentimental things that I like to have. I like to travel with little trinkets. I have one little stuffed animal that one of my sons gave me because he knows I love monkeys. I often have met some really great people that have given me little gifts, and it's fun because people think of something small that can pack with me, and it warms my heart that I have it with me all of the time. I have received such special treasures. Plus, I can buy little goodies here and there that I can add to the assortment. I also pack pictures, and I have a few of those sexy items that I like to have. You never know when the mood's going to strike and you want to have a little something with you. So remember that you are on an adventure. You are on an exploration of yourself, your own discovery, and having some items with you will make a big difference. Sometimes you have to make a pit stop and drop off a few things. I have a couple sweaters in my bag still while I have the summer dresses because I don't know where I'm going next. But what I always want to do is know that I can go into almost any climate pretty easily. I've got some warm socks in there because that can be necessary sometimes. And sometimes those airplanes are freaking freezing. But I have myself ready and prepared for the possibilities. My question to you is, what would you pack if you were just living the suitcase life and going to different places? What are some things that you could not leave behind? What are some things that you would want to get for yourself? And how would you go about doing that and making that list? It's been really fun to say, hey, I'm taking my sparkle dress with me. I am taking my tutu with me until I don't need it anymore. And now I'm going to add something different in there. And that has been so much fun. My straightener, £1 note. I actually got that one because I was trying to check the bag a while ago and it was a little too full. And the checkout gal said, hey, do you have a straightener in your suitcase that we could put in your carry-on? And that will probably give you that £1 savings of weight. And it did. So even though honestly, I haven't actually used my straightener in all of my travels for the last 6 months because every single place I go, my hair does something different and I'm just embracing it. But I do have it if the mood strikes. And of course, you must always have a black dress. This one is amazing. Actually, I wore it for my youngest son's wedding. It's a wraparound, but again, it's soft, it's cotton, and it just makes it so easy. Us girls need a classic black dress that we can wrap up and enjoy and feel sexy and beautiful in. That is just a snapshot. I have quite a bit else. I've got the everyday clothes, the tops. I have a pair of jeans, a pair of shorts, and a couple other dresses. and hair items, hairbrush, blah, 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 travel little items. Mostly just to give you a refresher that you need your chargers, you need your little bags. I have my medication, I have my handy dandy bag that's full of all of my chargers and any medication that I need to take. It's all about just being prepared to be successful, creating a space that you can really enjoy. Now that I have been traveling and doing the videos, I also have a wonderful item that my computer's on that breaks down into smaller pieces to hold it upright. My youngest son gave me something to hold my computer up even higher so I can have a better eye level angle for people. I have the travel microphone now. And then my oldest son gave me another microphone for when I'm interviewing people in person. It's been interesting, all that I can put together. I am so grateful and so thankful. The miles that my items have traveled is incredible, and I feel great about it. Tips to keep in mind: clothing items that can interchange based on the style of what you're wearing. Keep it a similar color theme with a few extra items that you can have a pop of variety. You want to make sure everything can wash together, at least 99% can wash together, so that you can do that one load or a hand wash if you've got something specific you need to. Literally, the only thing I would need to hand wash would be that red dress because the dye. But every single other item I have can go in one load together because often you can only get one load done. Everything in there, I love it. I care about it. But the time I stop doing Suitcase Life, majority of it will be ready to be passed on or donated. The shoes are all comfortable walking shoes. I am not wasting space on shoes that are not comfortable to me, but I do make sure they're cute shoes that I can dress up with another outfit. Sequin dresses are valuable. It's okay to have one in there. You might take it in, you might take it out, but it's always good to have a little something extra that you feel great in. I make sure that if an invitation comes, I am ready to go. I pack very little jewelry. I've actually been wearing very minimal jewelry. The jewelry that I took for this trip has tarnished more than normal. The moisture was just too much for it. So I've not really added to my jewelry, but that's up to you to decide. You already see me, I'm always wearing my necklace, and that's pretty much it for right now. I keep little nuggets in my suitcase of pictures and little memorabilia items that mean something to me. So I have that piece of energy with me always. And of course, you got to wear the sparkly shoes. Let me know what you choose to do in putting all of your attire together. And oh, make sure you have the travel items, but never skimp on your skincare. Never skimp on your care of yourself. This is so important. Whether you got to get travel size of your high-end products, you need to do it because you are changing climate so much. Your skin is being affected. Your body is constantly being impacted by it all the different food that you're eating. Be aware to take care of the suppleness and beauty within you. And, just know you're having fun. Everything that you take with you is optional in the sense that it's you that matters. Your health matters, your mental, emotional, spiritual, physical well-being. You might lose things, you might forget things. I have remembered everything everywhere I've gone. It's so important to keep very organized when you unpack. You keep everything systematic. You keep it all in the same area and space. You have a routine of what you take out, where you put things, so that you don't leave things behind. Try to keep consistent. Be very solid on this because your sense of routine will make a difference from you forgetting or losing things. And always remember what's most important. You've got to have your phone, you've got to have medication that you need, glasses, contacts, and of course, your information such as your credit cards, your passport, your ID. Those things are non-negotiable. If you ruin a top and you've got to throw it out, it's okay. If a pair of shoes wears out, it's okay. Those are replaceable. Keep things in balance and perspective, but I want to inspire and encourage you to enjoy the suitcase life. Lifting 50-pound suitcase is a lot, and it's keeping me strong, it's keeping me healthy. Doing this lifestyle is definitely having its moments. I get tired, I get exhausted. Really, it passes quickly. When it comes to my carry-on bag, oh my gosh, I think that's getting close to 50 pounds, and it's not even that big, but I pack it pretty tight. And then there are times when I'm lifting it for the overhead bin and I have to use the top of my head to get it up. People aren't always that helpful when you're struggling with it. It can be a lot. And then my actual backpack that I use, I have a very well-loved, well-nurtured backpack that I have my laptop in, the charger, and all of the goodies that I need with that. Now that is extremely heavy too. I am sure that accumulatively, I am probably close to about 85 pounds that I pack out with me. I am not doing this lightly at all, but everything has intention and purpose and necessity. My new laptop that my youngest just got me, it has the heaviest charger imaginable. So there are certain things that are just what they are. We do what we can, we make it happen. Of course, you can travel a lot lighter, but if you have a little bit of a princess syndrome like I do, I like all the things that I like, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give up and not live the lifestyle that I want. I hope this inspired you. I'm curious of your takeaways. I'm curious what you would take, and I'm also curious what you have done, if you've done any of kind of extensive travel with a solid big suitcase and a carry-on and a backpack and a purse. So it's a whole lot of moving parts, and every time I get off the airplane, it's like heave ho to get my carry-on bag down, lifting up my suitcase out of the little space that's available, and then cruising on down to go get my big luggage that's a heave ho, pulling it all off. The other day when I landed at my last flight, my suitcase, they kind of flopped it up and it was like poof, I felt all this like dust come off of it from whatever it had been around. And I'm just thinking, wow, the miles that suitcase has seen. I am so grateful. I've stayed healthy and strong, met wonderful people, and the possibilities continue. So who knows? One day I'll stop doing the suitcase life, but it has brought so much to me: mental clarity, focus. I can come up with solutions. I am meeting new people. I am lifting heavy luggage, and I never know where I'm going to go next. I just booked this place yesterday afternoon. I am going to be here for 10 days. Who knows where I'm going to go next? But I keep the possibilities open because I do the suitcase life. Let's keep this conversation going. I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about the items that I put in my magic bag.